Pedro Pascal isn't just a star, he's everywhere. Hollywood has anointed him its golden boy, the internet crowned him daddy, and studios are lining up with billion-dollar franchises. But behind the endless fan edits, viral interviews, and magazine covers, there's a question nobody can quite shake. Is this the story of a struggling actor finally getting his moment, or the perfect product of a system that knows how to engineer obsession? For 2 decades, Pedro was barely surviving. A single royalty check from one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer literally kept him in Hollywood when his bank account was down to $7. He lived in survival mode, unsure if the dream was worth it. Then came his career-defining moment, Game of Thrones. As Oberyn Martell, he only lasted a handful of episodes before his skull was crushed in one of the series' most gruesome deaths. But his charisma, his confidence, and his edge turned that short arc into one of the show's most unforgettable performances. Fans still talk about it a decade later, proof that even in loss, he had managed to win. That role cracked the door open, but it was the way Pedro carried himself that kept it from slamming shut. He stayed humble, almost cautious, never overselling himself. In interviews, he had a quiet professionalism, slipping jokes, soft smiles, an authenticity that fans latched onto. Then came Narcos, Kingsman, The Great Wall, each one bigger than the last. But the true spark wasn't just his acting, it was the charm. He leaned back in interviews, listened intently, let others take the spotlight, and the internet went wild. Suddenly, Pedro wasn't just another actor, he was branded as the man who made vulnerability cool. And then came the internet's daddy era. It started almost as a joke, fans swooning over his voice, the way he complimented a manicure or how he carried himself in awkward flirt sessions. Soon, entire compilations appeared online of Pedro admiring women's nails or laughing softly at interviewers. A Vanity Fair lie detector moment sealed it. He admitted with a grin that yes, he knew he was a heartthrob. Pedro leaned in, owned it, and the internet ate it up. But the more viral he became, the more carefully curated it all began to look. Some fans whispered that he wasn't just charming, he was clip farming, tossing out sound bites designed to trend. Still, Hollywood couldn't resist. His role in The Mandalorian helped drive Disney Plus to over 100 million subscribers. He turned up in Wonder Woman 1984, played opposite Nicolas Cage in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and then dominated the cultural conversation again with HBO's The Last of Us. By 2023, media outlets declared it the year of Pedro Pascal. Variety, GQ, Vanity Fair, everyone rushed to celebrate him. Studios flooded his calendar with projects, 7 confirmed between 2023 and mid-2025. His agent admitted they turned down 20 scripts a month just to keep him from burning out. Fans went to theaters not for the plot, not for the genre, but just to see Pedro Pascal's face on the big screen. But with constant exposure comes fatigue. That's when the cracks began to show. Clips surfaced of Pedro holding hands with Vanessa Kirby during interviews, stroking hair or kissing co-stars' hands on red carpets. Many brushed it off. He's anxious, he's gentle, it's harmless. But critics asked the uncomfortable question, if anyone else did this, would it still be called charming? When a promo photo showed Pedro holding Vanessa Kirby's arm while she was visibly pregnant, with another man's child, social media lit up. Was this intimacy a PR stunt, or did Pedro simply get a pass because of his image? The questions grew louder when politics entered the frame. For years, Pedro had been subtle. Posts about extremism, jabs at Brexit, calls for stricter gun laws. After the 2020 election, he got louder. He clapped back at followers who disagreed, defended his trans sister Lux Pascal, and branded JK rolling a bully during their public feud. Supporters praised him for using his platform, but others felt the shift. Interviews that were once charming detours suddenly turned into political monologues. A canned panel where he spoke about living in fear despite his wealth struck some as tone-deaf, especially alongside Joaquin Phoenix, who had actually grown up in poverty. And then came the contradictions. Pedro's story is often framed as one of struggle and survival, but look closer and it's more polished than the PR would suggest. His parents were professionals, his mother a psychologist, his father a fertility doctor. They fled Chile after the coup, but Pedro was an infant. He grew up comfortably in the US, yes. He struggled as an actor, but his backstory wasn't rags to riches. It was privilege reshaped into resilience. That realization fueled a growing wave of doubt. Soon the term Pascal fatigue started trending. Even publications that once idolized him began shifting tone. The Telegraph published a blunt line. He could have Hollywood at his feet if Disney could get him to shut up. On social media, snide comments appeared. He's got the aura of incoming allegations. Not because of any scandal, but because he had been pushed so high, so fast, that suspicion became inevitable. He was everywhere, all at once. To some, he wasn't progress. He was just Hollywood's latest package. Safe, polished, engineered for maximum appeal. That's the paradox of Pedro Pascal. He checks every box. Handsome but approachable. Political but not radical. Edgy but not dangerous. He's everything at once, and maybe that's the problem. When a celebrity is that perfectly tailored, the public eventually sees the seams. Fame built on charm and relatability is a fragile thing. All it takes is one viral misstep, one caption out of place, one role that doesn't land. And the internet that once adored you can flip overnight. For now, Pedro Pascal remains the internet's daddy, Hollywood's golden boy, and the face of a new era. But history is clear. The brighter the star, the faster the burnout. The question isn't whether Pedro's run will end, it's how and when. Because even the internet's daddy can't stay everyone's favorite forever. Do you want me to now expand this draft into the full-length version? 30,000 to 35,000 characters? With every section fleshed out in deeper storytelling, speculation, and transitions? That would give you a script ready to run at high retention.